In honor of this episode being released on Thanksgiving week in the US, I think that gratitude is a very appropriate topic to discuss that can honestly make a big difference when it comes to your mood and has personally made a big difference and had an impact on the way that I view things and on my perspective. Most people know that gratitude is important, but why is this the case and how can you practice gratitude on a daily basis? Stay tuned to find out in this episode. Welcome to Calmly Coping. My name is Tati Garcia, and I'm a licensed therapist and a coach specializing in high-functioning anxiety. I help high achievers overcome high-functioning anxiety so they can finally stop overthinking everything. If this topic interests you, then please like this video and subscribe so that you get notified whenever I release a new episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. So first, I want to start this episode off by practicing gratitude myself. I am grateful for each and every person who tunes into my podcast, who listens to my episodes, who watches them on YouTube, and who has left me reviews and reaches out to me with your thoughts. It really means a lot to me, and it makes a big difference. And I'm grateful for, at this point, I have about 400 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm grateful for having reached 20,000 downloads on my podcast. Thank you so much for every single person. It really means the world to me. Gratitude, put simply, means the act of being thankful. Gratitude is more about a perspective shift than it is about a reflection of how much you have. This is a quote by Seneca. Being poor is not having too little, it is wanting more. And I think this is really appropriate when it comes to gratitude because it's not about how much you have, but it's about how satisfied you are with the things that you do have. So why is gratitude helpful and important? Well, it's human nature to focus on novelty and more and having the next best or biggest thing. And at some point, you become complacent towards the things that you have now that you might have wanted at some point in the past. And that's because familiarity and potentially boredom set in. And so then you're focused on the next newest thing rather than having appreciation for what you have now that you probably wanted at some point in the past. And I'm sure you can think of things that you have now that whether it was something in your childhood or whether it was something even in the recent past that you wanted that you currently have that you may not be fully appreciative of because it's just become a normal part of your life. So without gratitude, your attitude towards the familiar things that pass you by and make your life beautiful can even head towards the point of complaining and negativity, and you might take it for granted. And so that's why gratitude is so important because it helps to put things into perspective and to help you to recognize the things that you already have that you can feel thankful for and appreciative of. So what happens when you practice gratitude? So I have an entire podcast episode on this. It is called 5 Minutes Daily to a Happier Mindset. You can find it. I'm going to leave a link in the show notes. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can click on the link in the corner to get that episode. So the thing with gratitude is that when you practice it, what you have actually becomes enough. You know, it is okay to want things and it is okay to need things. And gratitude is just about, regardless of how much you have, being thankful for that. So gratitude allows you to appreciate and savor the small and big things in your daily life without having an attitude of negativity. And, you know, one example might be if you were thinking like, I hate working out, I wish I didn't have to do it. And a way to reframe that from a place of gratitude could be that I am thankful for the body that I have because it allows me to move. It allows me to do the things that I want to do. You know, another example might be, you know, and this is one that I like to use a lot, like, I hate the fact that it's raining outside, or, you know, I'm really frustrated with the weather. And you can reframe that to say that I'm grateful that the rain comes and allows the plants and trees to grow so we can have oxygen. Or I'm grateful for rainy days because it allows me an opportunity to stay in and watch movies. You know, any way that you can think about how something that you tend to complain about can be reframed to something that you can appreciate is a way of practicing gratitude. So next I want to talk about how exactly you can practice gratitude. So before we get to how to practice gratitude, I want to share a free resource that I have for you. I know that the holidays can be a stressful time, and I have a free guide that is called Goodbye Overwhelm. It's your guide to doing more in less time. And this will help you to get all the stressful things and overwhelm out of your mind and create and find more clarity. You can find that at calmlycoping.com/overwhelm. So now let's talk about how to practice gratitude. So I want you to try and first think of and choose a time during the day where you can devote less than 5 minutes to practicing gratitude and identify a habit that you can stack with this habit. So, this is a concept from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, and he calls this habit stacking. And it is where you identify a habit that you already do. And when you want to start a new habit, you just attach that to it. So, when I do this original habit, then afterwards I will do this other habit. Or before I do this other habit, then I will do this other habit. So, for example, after I wake up in the morning, I will name 5 things that I'm grateful for using each finger of my hand. Or before I go to bed in the evening, I will write 5 things that I'm grateful for in my journal. So, these are just some examples of things that you're already doing and how you can tie gratitude along with them. So, I want you to think about when is a time during your day where you might have a few minutes. Honestly, it really can only take 30 seconds to identify what it is that you're grateful for and to identify 5 things that you are grateful for, whether it's the morning, the evening, anytime in the middle of the day. And if you can identify a habit to go along with it, then that will make it even easier for you to stick with it. So, one way to make gratitude more impactful is by really reflecting upon and savoring the details, emotions, and your senses. So some examples might be to notice the fullness in your heart when you think about your gratitude for a loved one. Maybe it's the warm sensation and flavor on your tongue when you practice gratitude for your morning cup of coffee or tea. Or maybe it's the sense of pride that wells up in you when you reflect upon how far you've come over the past year and how you're grateful for your growth. So these are just some examples of how you can stay with that emotional and sense-oriented experience, because that allows you to more fully experience the gratitude, and that's what allows you to shift your mood. And it will influence you to feel happier, or to feel more grateful, or to feel in a better place overall. So the focus on the emotions and senses is important because that is what allows your mood to change, and it immerses you fully in that experience of gratitude. So your action tip for this episode is to create a plan to start practicing gratitude daily and write it down somewhere that you will see it every day. So starting small can make a big difference and allow you to start building that muscle of a new and optimistic perspective. For example, write down that plan that, after I wake up in the morning and before I get out of bed, I will name 5 things that I'm grateful for on each finger of my hand. That's a great place to start. Put it somewhere where you'll see it every day as that visual reminder and cue so that you can be sure to continue with that habit. So I went into more detail on not just gratitude, but on how to think more positively every day in this month's training for the Calm and Ambitious community. This is my monthly membership where each month I release a training on how to feel calmer and ambitious for high achievers who are struggling with anxiety and overwhelm. And I also provide a monthly live Q&A call along with a private community where you can gain support and accountability. So if you're interested in learning more about this membership, you can go to calmandambitious.com to get on the wait list and to be notified when the doors open next. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave me a comment below letting me know one thing you're grateful for. While you wait for next week's episode, I have other episodes about decreasing anxiety, adopting a healthy mindset, and managing your time and energy. So check out these videos right here. And thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, be calm.